Okay, only 59 are there. Anyway, I'm going to start. So let us continue that problem which we had started in the last class. Okay, so we had completed few states. I'll proceed with that. So first state done. Okay, so few states we had completed. Any doubts still here? Till I7 at least, if you have any doubts, let me know. Otherwise, I'll continue. So I4, I5 I had explained. I6 also similar. Okay, so let us continue. From I2, when we read E, we will get I6, where E, after E we are going to have the dot, and these are the look ahead symbols. And then because of the other rules, we are getting two more rules. That is, E gives E dot plus E. Similarly, E gives E dot star E. And these are the look ahead symbols in I2. The same thing has been copied. And here we don't have to expand anything. That's it. Similarly, in I7, when you read open parenthesis from here, that is the rule number 4 here. When you read open parenthesis, you will get all these contents. Because dot E appears, you will have to expand once again. And when you find the new look ahead symbol, you will get all these. Because it is recursive, again E will be expanded, you will get plus. Next E will be expanded, you will get star. Like how we got in I0, similar to that we are going to get in I7 also. So this is I7. And then coming to I8, when we read ID, we will get this I8. I3 and I8 are different, even though the item is similar, but due to the look ahead symbols, it is different. So it is I8. And then coming to I9, when you read E, it goes to I9, and there are three rules where E has to be read, and therefore we get this as a content, and we don't have to do much here. It's the same look ahead symbols also, we don't expand anything newly here. So I9, and then when you read open parenthesis at I4, it is just similar to I2 because the look ahead symbols will match with that. Therefore, we go to I2. Similarly, when you read I3, it will go to I. When you read ID, you'll go to I3. So I3. Coming to I5, when you read capital E, it goes to I10. I10 is similar to I9, except for that instead of plus here, we have star. That's it. That's the only difference. Rest all is same. And similarly, when you read ID here, it goes to I3. And when you read open parenthesis, it goes to I2. Almost everything is similar. Coming to I6, when you read close parenthesis, you'll get I11, and this path is closed now because it's only the reduce operation left, and you don't have anything to read further. And at I6 on plus, you will get a new state, that is I12. Due to the look ahead symbols being different, we will have to create one more state. Although I12 looks similar to I4, but if you observe here, we have look ahead symbols as dollar, plus, and star. Whereas in I12, we have close parenthesis, plus, and star. So due to that, it is a new state. And rest all will be similar. The contents are similar because once you expand E, you will get all these once again. And this will be the expansion. Okay. So when you read plus, this happens. Similarly, when you read star also, it is similar. I13 will be similar to I5. Only difference is here we have dollar plus star, but in I13 we have close parenthesis plus star. So that's the only difference. Rest all contents will be similar. Only the locate symbols are different. So I13 is done, and I7 I am using here one connector because the space was not there. So I7, from I7 we have E to be read. So when we read E, okay, when we read E, we will get I14. So I14 is after reading E, we will get this. And also there are two more rules where we have to read E. So when you read, these are the rules we are going to get, LR1 items. And the locate symbols are just copied and nothing to expand here. So that's it in I14. And coming to at I7 when you read open parenthesis, it will be self loop because the look ahead symbols also will match. So it will be the self loop. So it stays in the same state. And when you read ID at I7, it should go to I8. Of course, it is similar. So it has to go back to I8. So I7 is done. Okay, so coming to I9, when you read, so first rule is done because it dot operator is in the rightmost position. We don't have anything to continue. Coming to the second LR of one item, we have plus to be read. When you read plus, it is same like I4, so the content will be same. So go back to I4. And similarly, when you read star, it will go back to I5. So we are reusing the states. In I10, when you read plus, it is I4, and similarly on star, it will be I5. And the first rule is eligible for reduce action. So that is done. So I9 and I10 is done. All are repeated actually. And then coming to I11, it is already done. That path is over. And coming to I12, when you read E, this is what we are going to get. So in the first three rules, we are going to read E, and the dot is moved and the locate symbols are copied as it is, and nothing more to expand in this state also. So we are going to stop the process. So coming to I12, and if you read open parenthesis, it is same like I7. So we go back to I7. Similarly on ID, it will go back to I8 because we'll get the same thing. So reusing the states there. So coming to I13, when you read E, you will get I16. The difference between I15 and I16 is only that plus and star operator. That's all. Rest all is similar. It works similarly. Okay, I15 and I16 are similar. Like how I9 and I10 are similar to that. So similar, only the operators will differ. Okay, and then coming to the next rule. So first three rules are done in I13. Next rule, the fourth rule is when you read open parenthesis, it goes back to I7. Similarly, when you read ID, it goes back to I8. So this also is done. Then at I14, if you want to continue, one more state will come. You have to read close parenthesis. Just complete that because there was no space. I left it. So at I14, when you read close parenthesis, it will be done. And similarly, when you read plus, it will be the repetition. When you read plus, where it should go, students? I want to see whether you are hearing or not. At I14, when you read plus, where it should go? Yes, students, somebody should answer. At I14, when you read plus, where it should go? Which state?
I12.
I12. I12, yeah, correct. Okay, at I14, when you read star, where it should go? I13, isn't it? Okay, so one more state we have to add here. At I14, when you read close parenthesis, you will get that reduce action to be done in I17. That is one more state. Okay, so that will be the end in that path. And coming to I15 also, we are done because almost it is done. Nothing because it is the repetition of the states. So similarly, I16 also, it is the repetition of the states. So we are done with it. That's it. Okay, so one more state you have to add at I14. That's it is left now. Rest all is fine. Now, okay, now the diagram is done. This is for LR of one state diagram. Okay, now can you identify whether any conflicts are there in some states? Just check and tell. Of course, answer is there in the slide itself, but you yourself see where all the either the shift reduce or reduce conflict occurs. Okay, which state it is there? I not nothing, because there is no such reduce action happening. Anyway, it is only we have to read it. That's it. And I one only dollar. So on dollar we will be having the accept, and other things are only shift, so it will not affect. So I do also not, because there is no reduce action happening here. I3 reduce action is happening for dollar plus and star. That's what it means. And I4, we are only reading all these symbols and no reduce action. I5 also, we don't have anything like shift reduce conflict, because we are only reading and it is shift action. And then coming to I6 also, it's only reading the symbols and going to the next state. I7 also similar. At I8, it is eligible for reduce action for the symbols close parenthesis plus and star. So that is I8. And coming to I9, we have one reduce action, that is rule number 1. Rule number 1 has to be applied for what all symbols? Dollar plus and star. Okay, so if you imagine the table for this parsing table, at state number 9, on dollar symbol and plus and star symbol, we are going to put R1, that is reduce. Okay, so do we have the shift action also for the same symbols? We have to verify. Yes, because we are reading plus. When we are reading plus, what happens? We take it as a shift action. So shift to 4 on plus. Similarly, shift to 5 on star. Therefore, for plus and star operator, we are having the shift reduce conflict in state number I9. Okay, that's why I have highlighted in a different color. Similarly, in I10 also same thing happens. Rule number 2 have to be applied for dollar plus and star. And for the same symbols like for plus and star, we have the shift operation also to be done, which is going to go to shift 4 and shift 5 on plus and star respectively. Therefore, in I10 also we have the shift reduce conflict. Okay, so that's what I have mentioned here. Action, when you try to fill the table, no, you'll realize, because it is very big, I don't want to show, you can compute yourself. Action of 9 comma plus is what? You'll have the shift 4 and R1. Similarly, action of 10 comma star is what? You'll have shift 5 R2. This is one conflict. Okay. Similarly, for star also you can write. Okay, we can write for both. Anyways, I have written for 9 one conflict and for 10 one conflict. You can write for star also similarly. Anyway, one conflict is sufficient to say that this particular grammar is not suitable for LR of 1 parsing. So there are conflicts. There are conflicts in both the states, state number 9 and state number 10. Therefore, we can conclude that this particular grammar is not LR of 1. Okay, so you complete the diagram. One more state you have to add, and you can also write the table, corresponding table, and say that okay, it is having the conflicts and therefore it is not suitable. Okay, so what did we check? I will go back to our previous slides. Okay, this is done. Ambiguous grammar, what we took from there onwards. Yes, so first we proved that this particular grammar is not LR of 0. Okay, then we proved that this particular grammar is not suitable for SLR also, and just now we proved that it is also not suitable for LR of 1. Okay, now is it suitable for LALR of 1, students? So already we have proved this particular grammar is not suitable for LR of 0, and we have proved that it is not suitable for SLR. Then we have proved that it is not suitable for LR of 1. Now can you say whether it is suitable for LALR of 1, the same grammar which we had here, this grammar? This grammar, it is not suitable. Okay, can you conclude then, if you take ambiguous grammars, what happens then? Always it will have the conflict. Whenever you take ambiguous grammars, you will have the conflict for sure. Whatever strong algorithm you take also, it is going to have the conflict for sure. But I started with LR of 0 so that I wanted to start with the least and then go towards the strongest. And we know that LR of 1 is more stronger than all other techniques, isn't it? So LR of 1, when you try, when you try to merge, what happens? There can be more possibility of getting more conflicts. Like the reduce conflict also may occur because we will be merging. Okay, anyway, we have computed this much. So can you tell which are the states that can be merged? Just to complete the problem I'm asking, which are the states that can be merged for LR of 1? Just to verify this diagram, and also imagine I-17 exists, and then you can tell. So which are the states that can be merged in LLR of 1?
I4, I12.
Okay, I3. Okay, I will put it in the next slide. Okay, you need this. Okay, I3 and I4 and I5. No,
I12.
I4 and I12. Yes. Okay, I4 and I12. Yes, you can merge. Similarly, I5 and I13 can be merged. Okay, then can you please repeat? Somebody is telling.
6 and 14.
6 and
14.
6 and 14 also can be merged. Yes. I3 and I8 can be merged. Yes. Can we merge I2 and I7? I2 and I7. In LLR of 1. In LR of 1, we can't do anything. Yeah. I2 and I7 also can be merged. So I2, I7, I3, I8, I4, I12, I5, I13. Then what else? Something you told, right? I14 also can be merged with I6. Okay, that is done. Anything else to be done? That's it, right? So when you merge, you can also think whether the conflicts can increase or not. So will it increase, the students? Because it is a very big diagram, I don't want to create the table. By seeing the diagram only you tell. Imagine that I3 and I8 has been already merged. So can we get the conflicts here? Reduce conflict? Can we get? What is this rule number? E gives ID dot, right? E gives ID dot means it is R4. So R4, where all I am going to apply? I am going to apply for dollar, I'm going to apply for plus, and I'm going to apply for star. Okay. And I'm going to apply for close parenthesis also because I'm going to merge. Isn't it? Anything else? That's it. So coming to, if you take wherever the reduce happens. Okay. So I15 will be merged with what? I15? No, it is not merged. Then what else we have? Any reduce if you are having, you can see that. I10, is it merged with something? I10 can be merged with I16, students, in LLR of 1 parsing? I10, can it be merged with I16? Similarly, I9, can it be merged with I15? Yes or no? Yes, right? So once you write the diagram, you'll understand, okay? You can rewrite the diagram, then you can imagine. So it is similar, I9 and I15 will be similar. Once you start drawing, many states will go off actually. So when you do that, whether any conflict will occur or not, you can see. But anyway, reduce conflict is not coming, okay? Only shift reduce conflict is coming in these examples. You can verify once again. But this particular grammar is not suitable for LLR of 1 also because of the conflict. When the conflict occurs in LR of 1 itself, definitely the conflict occurs for LLR of 1 also. After merging also, that same conflict will appear. Therefore, we can say it is not suitable for LLR of 1. So we have seen all this. Now let us try to conclude. I have some exercise problems after this. I have shared a link with you people, assignment link I have created. So these exercise problems, what you're going to do, you're going to solve it manually for those problems. And you're going to upload. I have given 1 week time. From today it starts. Maybe next Saturday till 9:30 p.m. you have time. So all the problems, both top-down and bottom-up parsers, it is there in the slides itself. In the last slide, you have the exercise problems. All these problems you try yourself manually and then upload it. We are going to see whenever we find time. Okay. So this is only to practice for you. There is no marks for it. but definitely you'll get the confidence after solving. And also it helps you for the projects. So that's why we wanted you to try out all these exercises. Just try that. Okay, so before that, I will conclude. So LR of 1 grammars are widely used because these are very efficient and they are flexible for parsers also. Because we have seen certain parsing techniques. Among that, LR of 1 is the best. And LR of K will be more better because we'll increase the number of look-ahead symbols also. And the other advantages are you can represent any programming language syntax by using the context-free grammar, and that context-free grammar can be supported by this LR of 1 parsers. So that's why we choose this LR of 1 or LR of K parsers, and these are the popular parsers. I would say this is the common parser. And only problem with the LR of 1 or LR of K is more number of states will be there, and the time required will be because of that. No, number of states are more. The number of tokens and how many reductions you are doing, that also matters. So definitely the time will be proportional to the number of tokens that you are using for parsing, and plus how many reductions you are doing. So that will be the time required, time complexity. But LR of parsers, one more advantage is that it will give the error as early as possible. So on the other day, I think one student, I think Banu, only asked whether top-down parsers are better or bottom-up parsers are better. The strategy used in the bottom-up parsers are much better than top-down parsers, okay? Because there we read from left to right is fine, and we use the leftmost derivation is also fine. But the thing, we have some overhead over there. Okay, but here the strategy itself is that till you match the complete RHS with your substring, you won't apply any rule at all for the reduction. So that is the basic idea behind the bottom-up parsers, and that is very well useful in LR of 1 because it is the algorithm itself is a little strong, and also it can handle most of the grammars, context-free grammars for the programming languages. Therefore, it can detect the error as it scans. It will right away. It can give the errors that this is not accepted or this is not derived. So that is how the bottom-up parsers are more preferred than top-down parsers in general. Although we say that effect is going to be same. There also effect is same. Here also effect is same. We are just verifying whether something is a valid syntax or not. But the way we do the strategy is good in the bottom-up parsers, and especially in LR of 1 or with more number of look-aheads in LR, that would be better. Okay? So there are some disadvantages with respect to few techniques. Like the disadvantages of LR of 0 and SLR are there are more chances of getting the conflicts in these parsers, as we already observed, right? So that's why I gave all kind of examples. More conflicts can occur in LR of 0, especially because we are blindly doing the reduce action. So shift reduce conflict can occur more in LR of 0 than SLR. So SLR to some extent it is fine, but it is not suitable for most of the grammars. So the grammar should be very good. Then only SLR can be used. Okay. There are some advantages of LR of 1. As I told you, it is one of the powerful technique, and it is suitable for most of the programming languages where CFG is used. And another advantage is that we can generate the tools. Okay, the tools exist for this LR of 1 and LR of 1. Therefore, we can very well use the tools. Like if you use Bison or Yacno, they are nothing but LR of 1. It has been developed for LR of 1, but LR of 1 is similar to LR of 1, except for merging. Other things are same. LR of 1 items only we are using in these two techniques. Therefore, the tools exist for these kind of parsing. Okay, but only one disadvantage of LR of 1 is it grows to many number of states, means the large number of states can exist compared to LR of 1 parsing. So it is more powerful, but the thing is only the number of states are more compared to LR of 1. So that is a disadvantage. Coming to the advantages of LR of 1, it will definitely have the reduced number of states because of merging. But the problem is once you merge, there are chances of getting the reduce conflict compared to LR of 1. So LR of 1 may create new conflicts, reduce conflicts. Due to that reason only we say LR of 1 is better than LR of 1. But many tools such as YARC can be used which can take the CFG. If it is a well-defined grammar, then no issues. We can manage it using LLR of one parsing. Okay. The disadvantages of LLR already have told. After merging, there are chances of getting the conflict. Okay. And there are some, due to the hierarchy, we can say that all SLR grammars are definitely unambiguous grammars, but not all unambiguous grammars are SLR. Okay, this is a statement. And also, all SLR are also LLR of one grammars, but not need not be vice versa. So when I say that it is SLR, then also I can say LLR of one. Okay, of course, if it is SLR, then definitely it has to be LR of one also, isn't it? Because in the hierarchy, in the next slide, I will show the hierarchy, then you'll understand better. If some grammar is satisfied for LR of 0, then definitely it will be suitable for SLR. It will be suitable for LR of 1. It will be suitable for LLR of 1. This comparison between SLR and LLR of 1 is done because the states looks similar actually. In SLR, we use LR of 0 items. In LLR of 1, we use LR of 1 items. That is the difference. Otherwise, the states, everything, it looks similar. So that's why this comparison has been done. Okay. Coming to the hierarchy, ambiguous grammars are not used for any parsing technique, neither the top-down nor the bottom-up. That's why I took that example of EQC plus E, that example, because it is a highly ambiguous grammar. It is never suitable for top-down parsing. It is also not suitable for bottom-up parsing. Okay, so it is not suitable. If you take ambiguous grammar, for sure conflict will be there in the bottom-up parsers, and similarly in the top-down parsers also. You can't continue because there may be many reasons. Maybe left recursion occurs, left factoring is required, backtracking may be there. So all these reasons will be there, and the first reason would be the ambiguous grammar. So if at all I list out some reasons, so first reason for rejecting some parsing technique will be, rejecting some grammar would be the ambiguous grammar. So you can't use the ambiguous grammar for any of these parsing techniques. Okay. And then coming to unambiguous grammars, you can have a comparison between the top down and bottom up. It goes like this. For top down, you can take LL of 0, means you're not having any look ahead symbols. You just take the normal procedure and then do. So that is LL of 0, okay, which is not useful at all most of the time, because without having the look ahead symbol, it is very difficult to decide on which production rule to apply. If you don't have the look ahead symbol, then obviously you will make the wrong decision and then you'll have to come back and then continue. Okay, so that is the problem if you don't have the look ahead symbol. But you have access to the look ahead symbol, at least one symbol, then it will be effective, definitely. And so the next level goes with LL of 1, and LL of 1 is always compared with LR of 1 because of the number of look ahead symbols we have. Okay, and then more effective would be LL of K. As you increase the number of look ahead symbols, the parsing also will be more effective. Okay, so that's why it is LL of K, which is having the highest strength, I would say. Okay, coming to the bottom-up parsers, the least would be LR of 0, then comes SLR, then LLR of 1, then LR of 1, and then LR of 2. Okay, so this is the hierarchy of the parsing techniques with respect to unambiguous grammars, and we don't use the ambiguous grammars for any of the parsing techniques because it will have the conflicts for sure. So I was asking this question during Viva, whether we can use the ambiguous grammar for parsing. Some people said, yes, we can use it. No, if you use, what happens? Definitely the conflict will occur because you know the reason. See, can you have different trees for the same sentence? If you are creating that, then somebody will write something, another person will write something else. So that cannot be allowed. So parser, the compiler cannot handle that. Therefore, the grammar should be free from ambiguity. Then only we can go ahead saying that, okay, this syntax is correct, this syntax is wrong. Okay, so that is very important. So ambiguous grammar we are not going to use for our parsing. So that is the hierarchy, so that we are going to end. And these are the exercise problems, students. These 3 minimum you have to solve. And how you are going to start is, you are going to start with LR of 0 only. Because that is the least powerful technique. So you have to take LR of 0. First you see that, and then you can use the same diagram for SLR also, as you all know. So you can try with SLR. Maybe while writing the table, you can exclude few things. Whichever is common in LR of 0, you can exclude, and you can write only those that are different in SLR that you can write. And for LR of 1, yes, you have to write the diagram and the corresponding table. And one example you can take for tracing also. You'll learn better. And similarly for LLR of 1 also, either you write the table or write the diagram, or you tell where all differences comes between LR of 1 and LLR of 1. That also will make it the solution. So these 4 techniques you are going to try for all these 3 grammars. And don't copy once again, because if you copy, then my purpose will go waste. I want you people to try yourself. You should understand where you are going wrong, what you have learned, whether you have learned properly or not. I want to test that. For that sake only, these exercise problems are given. So please solve these three problems. Each problem has its own challenge. It looks very simple, but when you start only, you'll know what are the problems. Okay, so try solving these problems, and you can upload. Anyway, 1 week time is there. Every day, if you sit and solve one technique also, you'll be able to finish in 1 week. So you can do that, and also you can make use of the hierarchy, how to go about that. Also you can just try that and find out and give the conclusion properly. Each grammar, whether it is suitable for LR of 0 or SLR or LR of 1, you have to conclude it properly. Okay, so that you try. And this example, maybe we can try now itself. This I purposely wrote so that we will be left with some time so we can finish it. This will be the last example, and this is the last topic in this particular chapter. Okay, the parsing is done now. Everything I've covered, all the techniques, what is there in the syllabus I've covered, and we have taken enough number of examples. If you do yourself all these exercise problems, I think you'll be confident. So please do that, and you should have patience. So in this chapter especially, you should have patience, because once you start writing, you have to see all the contents. You have to list out all the contents. So patience and concentration both are required. So just have patience and then try to solve it. So this we will try now online directly. So what is the first step for students? So this is my grammar. What is the first thing I have to do? Because I used to create the state, and from there I used to start. So let us start from the beginning now. What is the first step, students? Yes, be interactive. What is the first step?
I not finding it.
Before that?
Augmenting.
Augmentation. Okay, why augmentation is required? Why augmentation is required?
To know the end.
To know the end. Right. Yes. So first we will augment it. I will take it as G gives some. X is the start symbol here. So dollar I will put. Okay. Now after this we will label. This labeling is only for our convenience, because so that we don't have to write all the rules over there. We can directly write the number. That's the only advantage. Some authors would have written the rule only directly there. That's okay. So whatever you wish. It looks jumbled in the table, so we prefer labeling like this. Okay, so now we have labeled. So first 2 steps we have done. Augmentation we did, and then we labeled the rules. So let us start now. But I don't want to start like this also. Let us start from the beginning so that you don't make any mistakes in the start state itself. So I will not list anything now. Let us do online. Okay. So this is what I have now. Okay. So what is that I have? I have dot X dollar. I would like to solve for LR of 1 for this problem. Okay. Why? Because the question says what? Show that the given grammar is LLR of 1 but not SLR. Okay. So first we will try to construct LR of 1 and see what can be merged, and then we will go back and see for SLR. Okay. So I will start with the look ahead symbol. What is the look ahead symbol? Because it is the initial state, I don't have anything. So I will put a question mark now. And this is I naught. Okay, next what should I do? Without this, you can't continue only, right? So I should take all this. How? See, you should experience like as I am writing. Okay, that's what I am doing like this. M, capital M, small a. Okay. And what is the locate symbol for this? Anyway, we will fill it together because X we have so many rules. No, we will try to write everything right now. Dot small b, capital M, C. Okay. And similarly, next rule is dot small d, small c. Next rule is X gives dot small b, small d, small a. And dot d. So we are done with all the X rules now. So what should be the lookahead symbol? Because it is LR of one item. For all these, what should be the lookahead symbol, students?
Dollar.
Okay, so it is dollar because this X only I expanded. Therefore, first of dollar question mark is dollar. So dollar. Like this only you are going to write for all the rules. Because I expanded that X for all these rules, I should get dollar. At the end of the state or something else to be done in the current state? What is to be done? So I am done with this. I expanded X. So what is next? I come over here. Okay, the next rule. Next rule says X gives dot M small a and lookahead symbol is dollar. So dot M means M is a non-terminal. So we have to expand M. Isn't it? Yes, Priyadarshan.
Ma'am, like I understood the dollar thing and all, ma'am. Like the first of X is dollar, but
Not first of X, first of dollar question mark.
yeah, dollar
First
question
of
mark.
dollar,
But
yeah.
how that dollar question mark came over there, ma'am?
Question mark is, this is the augmented rule. No, I don't have any look ahead symbol right now. See, later only I am finding. This is the rule, 0th rule. Okay. And also I don't need the look ahead symbol there because once I encounter dollar, I know I am going to stop. It's like question mark means it's like a blank, that's all. I don't do anything. I don't need anything in the beginning. But after expanding X only, I will find the new look ahead symbol. That's the reason why I have put question mark. It's as good as blank. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So because of this dot M, what did I do? I expanded this M. And M is having only one rule, that is rule number 6. I expanded, isn't it? So this one, we are done. Anything else to be done in the current state? Anything else to be done in the current state? Nothing, right? Nothing has something to be done. You have to find the lookahead symbol. Where did I find? Where did I expand M? Here, right? So once you expand M, what is the lookahead symbol for that expanded rule?
A.
Yeah, small a. Small a is the lookahead symbol. Don't put dollar here. Why not dollar? Because when I find the first of a dollar, it is just a. That's the reason. So I finished with this rule. Coming to the next rule. What do I have? Dot small b. Small b is not a non-terminal. So I don't have anything to expand. Similarly, coming to the next rule also, I don't have anything to expand. Coming to next rule also, nothing, nothing, and nothing. That's all. That's all for the current state. Okay. So now let us try for the next state. So what happens in the next state? When I read X, what happens? I will get G gives X dot dollar and it is done. So do I have anything anywhere where X to be read? I don't have. So that is the end of this state. Okay. That is the end of this state. Then coming to the next state is what we are going to have when you read M. See, how did I decide what has to be read? Here X to be read, here M to be read. So when I read M, what happens? X gives M, I will read, dot is moved now, and small a. And what is the look ahead symbol? I have the dollar. And do I have to expand anything in the current state? No. And do I have anything to be read like M in any other rules? No. So I end this state also. So this is now what it is, I1 and this is I2. 2. Okay, so that is the end of I2. And then coming to the next possibility is what? When I read small b. So I am reading small b. So what happens when I read small b? Small b, when I read b, small b dot m, c will be there and my lookahead symbol will be dollar. Okay, we need to explain that, we will take it later. But you see whether any other rule has got b to be read. Yes, here also we have b to be read. So that also to be listed because it is a DFA. Okay, it cannot be NFA. So we have to finish everything in one step. So here also I am going to read b. So it becomes b dot small d small a, and the lookahead symbol we are just going to copy. So that is done. So anywhere we have b to be read? No, because here we have taken already, here also we have taken, that's all. So now is it completed? No, because in the current state after taking the transition I got something like dot m. Now I need to expand this m. So how do I expand? You just list out all the rules. Anyway, only one rule is there for m. So I get this. Now what is the lookahead symbol for this? Whenever you expand, you have to find the new lookahead symbol. What is the lookahead symbol for this? Answer please. I expanded over here from here. So what is the new lookahead symbol for that rule?
C, ma'am.
Okay, small c. So anything has to be done in the current state? That's it. It is done. We don't have to expand anything more. That's it. Okay, coming to when you read, so this I finished, this I finished. You can take if you are doing no manually, you can always tick and see what is left. So what is left now? I have to read D. So when I want to read D, so what you can do? You can read D and find the next state, which is going to be I4. 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 In that, I am going to read T. Where all we are going to read T, you take all that. So it becomes from here. From here, I get D small d dot C and dollar is the lookahead symbol. Similarly, I have another rule with D to be read. D dot dollar. And then we have another rule where D to be read, which is M gives, I will get D dot. So anything else? Anyway, here all terminal symbols are there, so no need to worry, it is done. So this is I4. Okay. I4. Now you have to continue. Did we finish all the transitions from I0? You have to see, okay, it is done. So we will continue with I1, nothing to do. In I2, we have to take A and read. So once you read A, it becomes I5 and dot is moved. Dot is moved and it is on dollar. That's it. So no more, nothing more to be done here.
Ma'am, in I4, M gives B, but we'll get a look ahead symbol as A, right?
Where?
M gives D dot, the look ahead symbol should be A, right? Not dollar.
In I4 you are saying? Oh yeah,
Yes.
sorry. Maybe I pasted. Yeah. Yes, sorry. That is A, sorry. Because the same thing we have copied. I didn't observe that. Yes. It is supposed to be A. Good. Thank you. Okay. So it is A. Okay, fine. So I5 is created. Similarly, yeah.
The purpose of this is to find whether there is some error, no ma'am, like reduce conflicts.
Yes.
Like in I4, we have a shift reduce conflict, no ma'am. So
Is
we
it
can
shift reduce? Is it shift reduce?
Yes, ma'am. Like
How
the
did you
first
say it is shift reduce?
for
You are
X
going to
and
read
M,
C,
it is
right?
reduce.
Is it reduce?
Yeah, reduce. Yeah. For X and M, it is reduce.
But on which symbol you are going to apply reduce action? X gives D, that you are going to apply only for dollar. Earlier I had written dollar, no, then maybe it would have been reduce conflict. Now there is no conflict. See this rule, that is rule number 5, I am going to apply for what? Dollar. Rule number 6, I am going to apply for what? Small a. So no problem. If I apply for the same symbol in both rules, then it will have a reduce conflict. Now it's okay. But when you merge, you have to see whether it happens or not. You have to see that. Is that clear, Priyadarshan? So this rule number 5 is applied on what? Dollar. That is why I am maintaining the locate symbols in the state itself. So that later for reduce action, it helps. I don't have to see for other symbols. Only for these locate symbols I have to see. Okay. Yeah. So in I3, okay, I think it's time. Anyway, I will stop. Whatever I can complete, I'll complete and stop. In I3, if you read B, it will be, sorry, if you read M, it will move the dot and it will become I6 and nothing to read in, we are going to read the next symbol as D only, so this won't be there. That's it. And copy again, same thing. So I7 we are going to create. This is when you want to read small d. So this will not exist because I've already covered that. Okay. So dot is moved and this also dot is moved. Okay. So this is I7 when you read D from I3. Similarly at I4, already these two rules are done. Only C you have to read. So if you read C, what happens? Get something like this. Till I8 I'll finish and stop maybe. I8. When you read, you'll get DC dot from I4. When you read C, you'll get DC dot and dollar is the locate symbol. Okay, so that is done. So I5 is done. Here you have to continue. Okay, one more step. Control C. So this will be I9. So you are going to read C. I'm just writing without the arrow mark because it takes more time. So after reading C, this will be the thing. And similarly, when you read in I7A, you'll get a new state, say I10. And this dot will move. And this will not exist because it is already done. That's it. Okay, so I10 and I8 is already completed. You see the pass, you imagine the arrow marks, and after reading everything, this will be the diagram. Okay, so now at this stage, is there anything left, students? Have we taken care of everything? I think we are done. Yeah, so now you see whether any conflicts are there. Okay, and you can conclude. So this is what LR of 1. LR of 1. Whether anything can be merged or not, also you can see. Anything can be merged. You see this diagram. Of course, you have to imagine the arrow marks and then say any states are similar and they differ only in the locate symbols. Do you have anything like that? Yes or no? Exhausted is it, students? Okay, you see this anyway. I'm going to share the slides. So see this. This is actually LR of 1 diagram. Okay, if there are no changes and if you're not going to merge, then LLR of 1 also will be the same. Just see that and conclude. So if this is the LLR of 1 diagram and it is also LR of 1 diagram, you see whether any conflicts are there. If it is not having any conflicts, then this particular grammar is suitable for LLR of 1. Okay, that's what is given in the question also, isn't it? So in the question also that's what has been given. So you are going to prove the first part. So the second part is what? This is suitable for LLR of 1, but it is not suitable for SLR. So you have to create a diagram for SLR. That is LR of 0 diagram. If you create, the same thing is used for SLR. Just see that. Okay. I think it's time. I will stop this. So continue this problem also and finish it. And the exercise problems, you finish it. Okay, students. Thank you. If you have any doubts, maybe you can send a chat message. Almost it is done. Okay. This particular topic, I'm going to conclude. Okay, if you don't have any doubts, it's already time.